Devastating backfields with brutish bulldozing and exuberant agility, JJ SWAT was truly special. Producing one of the most dominant spells ever in the National Football League, the SWAT man racked up a ridiculous 51.5 sacks, 90 tackles for loss, and 33 passes defended in just a 3-year stretch. The last of those, 2014, being a season for the ages. So dominant, in fact, he was given snaps both ways. JJ recorded 5 total touchdowns to go along with 20.5 sacks, robbed of becoming the second defensive player to ever win the MVP. Let's go through the glorious tape of the greatest defensive season of the modern era. Thanks to the NFL for lending us the film. Straight up, this man was unblockable. It didn't matter the down or distance, or who he faced. He was winning the rep unless you sent 3 his way. Nominally a 3-4 defensive end, JJ possessed the skill to play every position across the line with 0 drop in production. On early downs, he spent the majority of his time as a 3-tech where he destroyed any run inside. And if you dared run in his direction, you better be ready to be behind the count. Send 2 his way, and he just Hulk smash right through it. Knowing the double team is going to come from the tight end and right tackle, watch him drop to one knee to anchor, looking like Superman holding up a building, before exploding through the double when the left tackle climbs. Reluctant Super Bowl scorer Ahmad Bradshaw spots him, but no back could escape this man's grasp. And here it is versus Chip Kelly's Eagles. He's going to drop down to his knee to anchor the B-gap, squatting the combined power of Todd Harriman's and a young Lane Johnson, then benching away the guard, immediately exploding through to the backfield. And if that Hulk strength wasn't enough, he's able to knock Shady off balance with just a rip of the shirt. Send just a single man, and you were in for an even bigger disaster. Watch straight up embarrassed dudes, forklifting them to their peril, or sidestepping like he's not even aware of their existence. Reading the stretch zone come his way, watch JJ beat the tackle to the angle, winning the leverage battle by using one arm. One arm is longer than 2, remember, yet still having the power and skill to drive his man back. Justin Forsett sees JJ's hat outside and knows he needs to cut back, but watch Watt close this lane too. As soon as he sees him cut, he swims back inside and leaps for the runner, guarding both gaps and making the back wrong no matter where he ran. Here, it's the Browns' turn to make themselves look like fools, running stretch to his side. He sends Mitchell Schwartz cascading into the backfield, but it's not just the strength that makes this an all-pro play. Watch the bend and dip to get under the block, reaching out to trip up the runner before he can cut back. Elite. His read for the game, combined with this agility, allowed him to teleport into backfields. Watt's the first to react on defense, getting his eyes into the backfield with immediacy. He needed just a fraction of a second to feel where the run was aiming, and obliterates his man with the swim move, sending the Giants 5 yards back from where they came. Again, he goes to the crossover and swim, destroying another play. Heads up on the guard this time. JJ sends him searching for the next zip code with the filthy stab right, swim left combo, straight through to the back to stop the 2-pointer. And here's a rep that combines all the skills we've shown so far to create a truly superstar snap. Lined up in the C-gap, JJ is going to wreck the stretch lead. He tests the tackle's strength and immediately realizes he's too high on the stretch play, tossing him aside as he swims his way to the B-gap. The fullback spots what's happened and correctly abandons his stretch path, smartly stepping on the brakes to take on the most dangerous man. But JJ is too much for him too. Watt straight up bodies him, keeps his balance, and leaps for the back. Straight up demolition. His talent wasn't restricted to just being an unstoppable force in the run game. JJ was even more feared as a pass rusher. Having the quickest step in the league at 290 is a ridiculous combination of traits. And when teams got backed up, Watt would pin his ears back, beat his lineman for the first step, dip, rip, and hit the QB before he even blinked. Heads up on the tackle, he's got a long way to go around the edge, but moves like lightning to bring down luck. Watch the explosion off the line, using suddenness to snap wide of the block and leave the tackle chasing. He then has the speed and agility to get around the wide set, flattening his angle as he gets level with the QB, barreling into luck for just the first of many in this video. We've seen him take Mitchell Schwartz's lunch money once already, so nobody send him this snap on Twitter. Moved out wide for optimal rushing angles, JJ's first step and explosiveness have Schwartz chasing off the snap, and Watt shows us his go-to rip. Correctly concerned with the ball, not the man, Watt reaches out a paw when he gets close, poking it loose and still hustling to the ball. You don't need many moves to go to when you're this fast, and his rip really was his favorite move. When the Texans could force you into long downs, you'd get him wide and into pass rush mode, and he would embarrass a fellow professional. He gives a nod like he's going to threaten inside, but this is just to set up the super speed round the outside. He's so fast into the backfield, Bortles has no ability to read. He's just straight into the turf. And here it is against the Titans, moved over to the left side on third down. He starts wider to create even more of an angle, and the tackle does a good job to match it with a wide kick. But watch the fantastic dip and rip, timed perfectly to avoid the punch, getting up and under the block. He closes the space fast, making Jake Locker his next victim. Again, knowing the game is about the ball and not the man, stripping Locker clean on the pass attempt, then chasing it down to complete the Mathis. When tackles were ready for his speed and rip, Watt's counter was the swim move, leaving defenders falling over their toes. Watt is great proof that as a rusher, you just need two really great pass rush moves, and you can give defenders hell with mastery, explosion, and high effort. We've shown this in the run, but let's watch him make some more linemen look silly. Already scared of the speed rush he put on him earlier, JJ is going to kick hard to wall off Watt to the edge. Reading the high set, JJ shows his acceleration to the outside to force a further kick, before exploding inside on the crossover, his arms swimming over the block as he works back to the B-gap. JJ is sent tumbling off balance as JJ shrugs off his last-ditch attempt, through to Luck to throw him down on third. Back to the Titans game, and with Svitek the left tackle setting high for the speed rush, JJ can bamboozle him with a swim. Again, he shows that burst to make the tackle tilt his shoulders, only to cross back inside, producing a mirror image of the footwork and swim he just showed. Through to the QB, his angle of attack is perfect. Watt works across to his far hip to take away the step up. Then, when he tries to escape, plays the far hip again, leaving Mettenberger with nowhere to go, ripping his legs out from under him before he gets called for intentional grounding. And once more against the Titans, this time away from home, showing outstanding agility paired with the swim to cause another strip sack. Running a stunt with the underappreciated Whitney Merciless, JJ engages his guard to make sure his attention is preoccupied, allowing his teammate to attack the B-gap hard, picking the guard and dragging his tackle down, allowing JJ to wrap outside and around to the QB. It looks to be well set up, but the Titans line does a great job to communicate what's coming, with right tackle Michael Orr peeling off to take the edge when he sees Watt. JJ reads this has been picked up well, and goes to his beloved counter move, sending the tackle into a tailspin as he swims back through an extremely narrow B-gap. He collides with the QB, sending the ball out loose, leading to an easy recovery by the Texans. And he finishes off the play with a selfie with the QB. Disrespectful if you ask me. Sacks are the glamour stat, and it makes sense we focus on them as fans. They're so pivotal to games and outcomes, but if you watch film, you know pressure, even without the final counting stat, can be just as deadly. His season contained lots of pressure like this, where he might not get the final stat, but he made the play. Standing up, then ripping back inside Lane Johnson, Watt's on an express path to Nick Foles. He tries to be the hero man and stand in and deliver, but Watt's rush is too much, forcing the ball to fall short of its intended target, country and western enthusiast Riley Cooper, and straight into the arms of AJ Boye, who weaves this all the way back for a Texan score. And here, the pressure is through so quickly, it forces another rushed pick. The swim has him storming through the B-gap, making himself as big as a bear when he sees Locker step up for the pass, rushing the decision and obscuring his view, forcing the ball offline. It's behind the man, and another Texans defender jumps it for the turnover, although this time, he's caught by a hustling receiver. His ability to read the play and attack gaps with that fast first step meant he was a pioneer of the bat down. Winning the name JJ SWAT, he took this part of the game to another level for defensive linemen. D-line coaches had always taught their men to get their hands up when they read pass and don't think they can get home, but JJ made this a signature move. In his superstar stretch from 12 to 14, Watt recorded 33 passes defended. The next closest defensive lineman recorded 16. So good was this skill, the Patriots even invented new drills to practice against him, with Belichick employing players and coaches with holding tennis rackets at the line to knock down Brady's passes. His ability to read the quick game was better than any defensive lineman we've ever seen, halting his rush and just playing the ball like a volleyball player, spiking any attempt that came his way. The depth at which he got into the backfield, combined with his awareness, meant that he swatted his fair share of 5-step drops too, getting his man pushed back close, and timing the hands up for the bat down. And he even had a pick six. Reading EJ Manuel throw hot with the zero look, JJ breaks off his rush and jumps the passing lane. And this time, the ball is like a magnet to his hand. The speed that makes him such a great pass rusher is on full display, as there's nothing a hustling QB can do to stop this going all the way to the crib. Another category that JJ excelled in was hustle. He wasn't one to give up on the play, and he set the culture on defense by chasing everything. The hustle kept him going at QBs and delivered him many a cleanup sack too. Effort is free, it just takes some drive. JJ holds position to see the ball released, being responsible for backside contain, and then he's straight out at full speed to chase it down. The DBs do a good job to steer the runner back towards center field, and JJ is taking a great angle to leap for the runner. And here it is in the pass rush. He's not going to get a sack, but as we spoke about earlier, pressure is just as valuable as sacks. Rushing from the right edge, he's going to work the stunt with the linebacker, but reading Flacco set up to release, leaps up to block a passing window. Seeing no release, JJ speeds around the tackle to hurry Flacco, avoiding the cut block to send the late attempt sailing into the sideline. Dominance and talent is one thing, but the best players show up in the biggest moments, and JJ was always there when the Texans needed him. You need a tackle to get a team out of field goal range? JJ was there. You need a sack to stop a crucial third down? JJ got you covered. You need a pass deflection to get the ball back inside 2 minutes? You know the answer by now. Here it is against the Jags. Late and with a chance to drive and take the lead, Watt takes matters into his own hands, driving hard upfield and then not giving up when he stalled, hitting the tackle with a beautiful spin move, forcing Bortles into escape mode. But he can only go backwards under Watt's pursuit, who dumps him in the end zone for a safety. Against the Colts, JJ forced a tackle for loss on second down. Then on third, he times his rush and jump perfectly, swatting down Andrew Luck's attempted quick ball to Reggie Wayne to give the Texans another chance. They would come up empty this time, but he was always giving his team the extra edge. And in 2014, he was so damn good, the Texans rewarded him with his own package on offense. Watt hauled in all 3 targets for scores, proving he was just too good to stop. He was brought in for the jumbo package versus Oakland, and after being asked to cut block the backside of the first play, JJ would get an opportunity off play action on the second. No Raider defenders prepared for him leaking to the corner, and he's wide open for touchdown number 1 of the season. Later in the year, they found a way to get their best athlete in space, identifying a way to get a mismatch. He starts in the same tight end alignment, but quickly flexes out solo, and a linebacker goes out to follow him in man coverage. The Texans identified this would be a mismatch on Christian Kirksey, and Ryan Mallett, RIP, shows us the only touch pass of his career, floating this up for a jump ball, which JJ wins and finishes with the toe tap. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a defensive lineman. And the best of the bunch comes against Tennessee. Having just stripped the ball from Locker 2 plays earlier, JJ is in the game lined up as a fullback, but becomes the second man to motion, fitting into the tight slot as the ball is snapped. It's an end zone staple, using the outside route to pick for the flat, and the coverage is extremely tight, but Watt is able to haul this in like it's his usual position, cementing his place as tight end 3 on the roster. It's one of the greatest 3-year stretches in NFL history, and it might be the greatest. JJ dominated the game in all phases, redefining what teams look for with interior rushers, and was impossible to block unless you sent 3 men his way. And all this was happening while the refs let him get held. JJ Watt got a whistle like an all-pro NBA center, where the refs would be like, well, we can't call every foul or we'll be here all day, repeatedly having to play through some egregious contact. I get it, because holding is already a broken rule in football, but he might have touched 30 sacks if teams weren't allowed to do this. Despite that fact, JJ produced a season for the ages in 2014, and was cruelly robbed of becoming only the second defensive player to win the NFL MVP honors. But accolades and statistics are only one way to measure, and the tape is the real indicator of greatness. And here, JJ Watt was as dominant as we've ever seen.